Saratoga Winners Rock and Roll Rescue Reunion 2. I know I probably said it wrong, Holly, but I apologize. But the good thing is it's all going to benefit animals that are in need in the area. The event itself at Michael's Banquet House, Saturday, September the 7th. Michael's Banquet House, really easy to find, right up on Route 9 in Latham, goes 7 to 2. In studio with me now, I've got Brian Cavanaugh from Poor Dead Molly, Tommy V from Second Heat, Vince and Mike from British Steel, and I don't know who the little probably challenge guy is in the corner, but we'll get to him in a little bit. Fellas, welcome to the Rock 100.9 studios. I appreciate you being here.
Thanks for having us.
For those of us who are not familiar with this event, like myself included, this is the first year I'm involved. Why don't you guys take the opportunity and tell us what this is all about, how it came to be, and the partnership, you will, between helping out the animals and getting all you crazy bastards from back in the day that hung at the Winners together. You want to take it, Tommy? We'll go to the British Steel guys. All right, here we go.
I don't know. I mean, we were just asked, to play this event. So, really, Holly should answer some of these questions.
Come on, Holly. Don't be shy.
Now, Holly, you're the one that put this whole thing together, right?
Mm-hmm.
You organized the first year as well, to begin the whole 9 yards?
I did.
After seeing what happened to the Winners, what inspired you to put this together?
I wanted an opportunity for all of us to be able to get back together. And
That's cool. I mean, because not too many people can, A, remember those days, and B, the ones that we all hung out with are essentially going to be at Michael's Banquet House on September the 7th. So it'd be nice to see, oh, yeah, I do remember you. That's cool. Now, where did the tie-in? You're a pet owner, I assume?
I am.
All right, cool. And that's where the coordination between helping out the pets now is. Does this go to a shelter, or do you just find stray animals and say, here's $5?
No, I picked two Capital District animal rescue groups.
Cool, that's awesome. And tickets are $20 in advance, $25 at the door,
That's
right?
correct.
$25 at the door, and they can get them available through Facebook or Michael's Banquet House.
Yes.
Where else can they get them?
A whole bunch of us on the Facebook page have tickets. There's a PayPal on our site, and Michael's Banquet House has one too.
Cool. September the 7th, Michael's Banquet House, Route 9 in Latham, Saratoga Winners Rock and Roll Rescue Reunion 2. Some of the bands that are on the bill, like I said, are in the house with me. We got representatives from Second Heat, Poor Dead Molly, British Steel. We're going to have M16 and a soon-to-be reunited, I guess, Max Thrust, maybe a little bit later. Also going to have Mike Campese and Mike Trash playing their stuff down there. Now, fellas, let me ask you this. There's still a lot of the bands that used to play back then that are still around here too, right? I mean, have you guys been a part of any of those bands?
Well, yeah. Well, the bands that played Winners that I was in, no, they're not together anymore. But I'm still playing.
Right.
And British Steel was together back then, and they're still together.
Now, who was the band that you absolutely had to go to the Winners to go see?
Wrathchild.
Wrathchild? Now, Tommy, what about you? Was there a band back in the day at the Winners that was the band that you always had to go see?
Probably Wrathchild, too.
Wrathchild, too? Wasn't Shannon Larkin in that?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Shannon, I thought so.
He
Current
was a star
Godsmack
then.
drummer.
You could tell just by watching him back then, you just knew something was going to
It
happen.
was like Tommy Lee with 8 foot longer arms. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Watching that guy. And Vince, Mike, what about you guys? Were you guys big residents at the Winners back in the day?
Yeah, I was in a band called Monolith. And we actually opened for Wrathchild America twice.
Really?
Yeah.
What about you, Mike? What was your band to go see back then?
Funny enough, it was Wrathchild.
Really?
Being a drummer, I mean, I was just blown away by this
unanimous
99-pound
decision.
guy,
Wow.
playing double bass standing up.
So September the 7th, Michael's Banquet House. We got the Saratoga Winners Rock and Roll Rescue Reunion going on. Again, tickets are available on the Facebook page. You can also go to my Facebook page, facebook.com/MikeDEnforcer. Scheduled to appear Blacksmith, Blase Debris. Am I saying that right? Blase Debris?
Yeah.
Okay. You also got British Steel, who are the Judas Priest tribute band. M16. Really? Wow, okay. Yeah. No, I'm only kidding, Lenny. Poor Dead Molly's going to be there, Second Heat. Max Thrust, who that was my band to go see. That was always the band that I went and saw, was Max Thrust, because there was just something about their combination of Priest and Queensryche that I just dug. You know what I mean? It was just always there.
That there was like a million chicks in the audience.
That had nothing to do with it. Just in case my wife and daughters are listening, that had nothing to do with the fact that all the hot chicks were at that one as well. But no, I mean, I used to work with Messick at Pacific Pools back in the day when he was in Max Thrust, and that was around the days when Mindcrime first came out, and the kid literally played it over and over and over and over and over, and I'm like, dude, you're really driving me nuts. But then you saw the band and you're like, now I get it. Because of the talent pool that was, I mean, not only with that band, but in every band back in the 80s, man, the talent pool was just, you had to do something more extreme than the last guy in order to get that crowd, you know? The thing that always kind of upset me about the Winters, though, is why are you going to do Metal Night on a Wednesday night? Why can't you do it on a weekend? It never made sense to me, you know? I don't want to see metal on a Wednesday night. Give that night to the guys that wear the $10 shit kickers and the cowboy hats, and you know what I mean? I don't want to hear that.
I think it was
you know?
QE2. Metal was Tuesday nights, I remember.
QE2. I remember being in QE2. I don't remember who the band was. I think it may have been Lethal Lipstick. And I went to QE2, and all of a sudden I felt something on my arm. And I look over, and it was a snake. Somebody was at the bar with a snake, and the snake was crawling up my arm. And I remember turning to the guy, when I was not such a nice guy, and I told him, either that snake's going to get off my arm or I'll cut its head off, one or the other.
Lethal Lipstick was Mike Trash's band, and Mike Trash
Yeah.
was playing at...
Yeah, and I played in a band with Mike Trash called Sick Ticket, too, with a kid named Matt Baker playing bass. That's why I like talking to you guys, because you helped me piece together the 80s. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah, I do remember that band. Oh, that's where I was. Now I remember, but yeah, cool. And Mike Campese, of course. Now, are those guys going to be acoustic, or are they going to be plugged in, or what are they going to be doing?
They're doing a...
Please don't plug Mike Trash in, please.
They're playing acoustic, and I think Rich Sorensen might be joining Mike Trash for some acoustic stuff as well.
I think
He
that
plays on
name
Civil
sounds
Liberty.
familiar.
Yeah, plays in a band called On Civil Liberty. Very good.
Oh, yeah, I remember that band vaguely. It was like 3 minutes that they were, yeah, okay, I do remember that. All right, cool.
I'm not the only one.
Yeah. All right, we're going to come back in a little bit. We're going to let these guys go and do what they got to do. We're going to come back in a little bit. We're going to talk to Lenny from M16, and we're also going to have a couple of guys from the soon-to-be reunited Max Thrust in studio as well. It's Rock 100.9, everything that rocks. We're talking about the Saratoga Winners Rock and Roll Rescue Reunion 2. Details at albanyrock.com.